Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'm going to be unboxing the Cricut Maker 3. Cricut just sent me a whole bunch of really nice things and a complete package. I have a project that I'm doing. I have a planter that's very old that I spray painted. I want to make it two-sided to where the plaque reads my address. And then I'll flip it over and I'm going to decorate it to make it look like it has farm fresh eggs in it. I've never used a Cricut. I've wanted one for years. So I was really happy when they reached out to me and asked me to use it in a TikTok. And I thought, might as well do a YouTube video too, showing my first time use. So this is the Cricut Maker 3. This is brand new technology. So there's a sheet of vinyl to practice on. It has grids on the other side. Okay, so right away it says activate your machine, and there is a website that you can go to activate it. So I'm gonna set that aside. It looks like there's a bunch of freebies in the bottom. So there's the machine. I'll briefly show you, and I might include these. It's too much to put all in one video, but they also sent me, this looks like a tray that you would lay the vinyl rolls in. This Cricut Easy Press 2, which I will be using to make shirts. They also sent like a foam mat. This is really neat. This veneer. Cherry wood veneer to cut, and then walnut veneer, and then a mat. That's what you actually put your sheet to print. Here's maple veneer, other kind of cardstock. For the project I have that I'm doing today, it's going to be vinyl. This toolkit, these look like hygienist's picks at the dentist, but actually that's called, I think the other videos were calling that a weeder. And when you cut your design out, you take that to kind of peel up the part that you don't want. But there's all this is kind of like you press down the vinyl, and it talks about it all on the back. It explains what each thing is. But this is the essential toolkit. Also included, I'm just amazed how much stuff they sent to me. Iron-on, gold iron-on, and then smart vinyl in white, black. Looks like I got a bunch of this. So transfer tape, when you have your piece cut out and you're going to transfer it then and pick it up and place it on top of your project, that's what you would use for that. Another blade knife, smart vinyl in orange and in yellow. So thank you, Cricut. You are more than generous. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Ooh, check it out. That was kind of like something like 007 type. It looks like there's already a cutter head in there. You just need to remove the foam. Very nice. Here is these look like the USB plugs. This would be my power, which I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Probably some of this, because my phone is what I'm recording with, I'm going to have to actually go on the app and make it. And it looks like it's very self-explanatory. I've got the power. Awesome. I'm going to set up my app online and see if I can maybe screen record some of that to show you what I'm going to do. The following are things you're going to see during the setup process. It'll ask you what machine you have. If you have multiple Cricut machines, there are going to be choices. Being that this is my first one, it knows that. So it just really walks you through. You have to check your connectivity. You have to acknowledge that you agree with their terms. Really is very quick and painless. It just takes you through, guides you. It's very easy. Should only take a couple minutes. Okay, here is my first project. I really did not think this video would be productive if you watched me hem-haw around. So I went ahead and did it. I've actually filmed it. This is going to be in a TikTok. Briefly, I'm just going to show you, if you're right now out of the gate, go ahead and download the app on your phone. You're going to pick your design. I'm going to walk you through. This is how you would actually do it. But what you want to do is turn your machine on. I'm just going to do a practice project to show you, and hopefully I can screen record what I'm about to do. Hang on to this, because when you're done, you're going to want to put it back. I have some of this black vinyl left over. So what you're going to want to do is take this. I like using the part on the top that's inches, and you just want to line it up the best you can to the top. So then I'm going to have to pause. When you see the screen hit new project, and as you'll notice down at the bottom, it gives you all of the options. I want to insert a picture. So the browse screen is going to come up, and literally you could scroll for hours looking at all of the choices, but I don't want to get lost in all of that. So I want to tell it, I want to look at tools. And so these are all of the options, but as you'll notice, most of them are paid. So being that I don't want to pay for one, this is just an example for YouTube, I'm going to further narrow it down by telling it I want to look at the free ones. So I go ahead and tell it that, and this is all there is. So I like this one kind of in the middle. It'll pop it over onto a grid. You want to make sure that you pay attention. Those are the sizes. Drag it up to the top left corner, and you can either scale it down or up at this point. This is still, to me, was confusing. I couldn't visualize it until it popped it onto this black grid, which is a replica of your mat. So double check yourself at that point. The first time I did this, I goofed. So follow all of the prompts. The next screens are going to ask you what kind of material you have, what type of a cutting implement you have, make your choices, and then your machine's going to start to wake up and then follow from there. Line your mat up at the bottom and wait for that light to flash. Go ahead and press it. Now it loaded it in. This is flashing, so it's ready. So I'm going to hit that. So as you can see, this is coming over, and you always want to line up on this left margin and at the top. You don't want to stick your piece of vinyl anywhere else because it's going to think it's there. Okay, and then it's telling me it's done. It kind of spits it out almost all the way, and then I go ahead and push that button that's flashing, and I'm done. Now, if I was on the app the entire time, it would also correspond with what it was saying on my phone. But because I needed to take my phone and record this, you're not going to see that. So that is how it's done. And then I'm going to show you how to peel all of that back and just give you a couple hints that I learned the hard way the first time. Okay, so now that this is done, what you want to do is carefully remove your piece from the mat, put this protective sheeting on it. For this project, I don't want to waste, even though I'm demonstrating this, I don't want to waste what I just did. So I'm just going to grab something yellow that I have. This is actually a flower frog that I use to put my pencils and stuff in. I'm going to make sure that my surface is clean. It recommends pulling this back on itself and gently tearing this off. But I do want to be mindful of anything that might be left in this part that I'm peeling off. So far, so good, but you really have to go slow and don't rush it. Now, at this point, I want to make sure, see, something got left. Did something get left behind? Yes, on the one corner here, this piece is supposed to have two, and it got left in here. So before you just go ahead and throw that away, you got to make sure that you actually got everything out. Okay, so if you have bad eyes or arthritis, I would suggest staying away from these tiny patterns. See, I've got the little piece on there, and I'm going to put it back where it's supposed to go to the best of my ability. It looks like about there. Now I can use this piece as a stencil if I want to. So I'm going to put it somewhere safe. So here's my pattern. And as you see, there are a couple areas where this needs to go. I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to hang on to that since I'm keeping the other part as a stencil. It's just like a hygienist pick. You just want to be careful. You don't want to go crazy and hurt yourself. Okay, so that comes off. I'm going to get a piece of this transfer tape. I happen to have a segment that is from before, and it looks like it's going to work for this. A couple people commented on Instagram that they don't buy the Cricut brand. They actually use like Glad wrap. That what is it called? Glad press and seal. I can't attest for that, but some people swear by it. Okay, so once you have your transfer tape, go ahead and set it. Make sure it covers the entire pattern, because wouldn't that be a bummer? Okay, I'm just going to press it flat with my hand. Then I'm going to take this tool, and I apologize, I don't know offhand what it's called. You could use a credit card, anything flat, sort of like the first time. What I found easiest is to actually flip it over this way and bend this material. Seems like the pieces come off easier. Now make a liar out of me here. Nope. Okay, so that looks like it's going to start to leave things, so I'm going to try it from a different way. And pull it back on itself. Come on, Nelly. Some of these are not fun here. This is real world. I'm not going to make my video make it look like it's all hearts and roses here. It is a little difficult to get some of these, so I'm going to use my tool. I had to pick the one with all the tiny pieces. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so that might help a little bit if you kind of rub it with your nail as you're going over it on the other side. That seems to somewhat help. But I can still see where there's a learning curve with this. And possibly high amounts of alcohol. Oh, okay. So there's my pattern, and it looks like I got a couple tiny shards that are left on here. They are like the size of a flea. So, and I'm just going to set them on here the best I can and eyeball it because I really don't have a choice. Okay, so there's that one. So when you get really good with the software, you could tell it that maybe you want the saws to be red, and then you could tell, say, I want the needle nose pliers to be green, and you can do things like that. I do not know the machine and the software well enough to get fancy like that, so I just cut it all on black, but it does have that capability. Of course, the drill would have to be yellow. I'm going to try to put this back, because potentially I may be able to pull that off and use it again. But remember, there were those little pieces. I'm going to save all these pieces. I don't know that I've seen that on any other video, but maybe everyone's not as cheap as I am. So I want to have a dual use. I'm going to use that again, possibly. I can put it on something, spray paint it, and then have another go at it. Okay, so then what you want to do is take your item, put it like right about, I'm doing this upside down, so I think that looks about even. I wouldn't lift that too many times. Okay, so I think that looks about good. So then I'm going to go ahead and with my hands push it down. I could see why you would not want to put this on something where there's like it has this slight curvature here. I think I'll be okay. All right, so then you take this or a credit card or any flat item like that and push down. Looks like the best way is to fold it flat on itself rather than like pulling it from up here. Keep it nice and flat. And this is actually the easiest part of the project so far. Okay, and there we have it. Very small pieces. The level of difficulty goes up. You're just going to have that. I will tell you some things I learned. I really wish that this product came with an instruction guide. I'm used to opening tools and having a complete manual. You're not going to find that in this box. I tried to download the software onto my laptop. It wasn't compatible. I was able to put the app on my phone. And from there, because I have experience with computers, I mean, not extensive, but I've used Word before and I've used other programs like Excel and things like that. I was able to go around and kind of tap on each option and figure it out. So the one thing I did have trouble with though was scale, because the first thing I printed, it looked like it was going to be on the mat. Kind of look at it right before you print it and look where the inches are and gauge from there, because the first thing I printed was huge and it actually went off the mat and left little indents in there. Here's a helpful hint. When you go to peel this up, I would also hang on to that strip that you pull up, because I had a couple tiny little pieces stick in that and I had thrown it away and I had to go hunt for those when I realized, hey, there's something not quite right here. As you'll notice, there is an oval on here. When you go into shapes, there is not an oval. So the first thing I tried to make, I was like, where is an oval? So what I had to do was actually take an X-Acto knife and an oval that I have that's a stencil, and I cut that out. But I was really shocked to find out there wasn't an oval. And I guess that's just the way that the needle moves. Maybe it's not possible. So when it goes to the transfer tape, one thing I also learned was that if it's not a super intricate design, like say, like these chicks, I reused the transfer tape a couple times with those. Now, if it's something more detailed like this, like these little, I don't know if this is like a leaf pattern, what that's supposed to be, wheat, I would definitely use a brand new piece of transfer tape. You'll save yourself a lot of aggravation. For things like, and here's another thing I didn't know when I got this machine. I thought all of the designs were going to be free. They are not. Now I know why Cricut makes so much money, because the cutest designs in the app you have to pay for. And I mean, it's only $1, but I could see how that could easily, if you do this all the time, that could really add up. I think there was an option you could maybe sign up for some type of a program that you would get. I didn't do that yet because this is my first out of the gate project. I could see how this hobby could become addicting, how you would want to buy every vinyl out there, every pattern. This really is a neat machine. Remember, this video is just my first project. I have a lot left to learn, but if you're a newbie, I hope that I imparted some things, and maybe you watching me goof up will help you, and then you won't do the same mistakes. So I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.